The apartment was too quiet. Not the usual quiet, where you can still hear the hum of the fridge or the faint buzz of traffic outside. This was a heavy, suffocating silence, like the world was holding its breath. I sat on the couch, clutching a lukewarm beer, staring at the door Ethan had walked through 4 days ago. He'd gone out to meet friends at a dive bar downtown, leather jacket slung over his shoulder, that dumb grin plastered on his face. "Don't wait up, Nate," he'd said, tossing his keys in the air. That was 2 weeks ago. He hadn't come back. Until he did, Ethan was my roommate for 3 years. We weren't tight, but we had a rhythm. Split the rent, argue over dishes, take turns walking Milo, our scrappy little mutt. He was the kind of guy who'd blast country music at 7 a.m., but make up for it by bringing home pizza after a late shift. So when he didn't show up that first night, I figured he'd crashed at someone's place. Ethan was impulsive like that, always chasing the next good time. By day 3, I was annoyed. By day 5, I was worried. I called his phone, straight to voicemail, texted his buddies. Nobody had seen him after the bar. I was about to file a missing person report when the front door swung open, and there he was. "Hey, man," Ethan said, kicking off his boots. "Miss me?" I froze, mid-bite of a sandwich. "Where the hell you been?" I asked, trying to sound casual, but my voice cracked. Milo, who usually tackled Ethan for ear scratches, just stood in the corner, hackles up, growling low. "Got caught up," Ethan said, shrugging. He tossed his keys on the counter, same old clatter, and headed to his room. "Long story. Tell you later." Something was off. His voice was right, that lazy Texas drawl. But his eyes, they didn't catch the light the way they used to. I shook it off. People don't just vanish and reappear. Milo was probably just mad about a missed walk. Still, that night I couldn't sleep. The apartment felt colder, like someone left a window open in January. The next morning I made breakfast. Eggs, bacon, the usual. Ethan loved my cooking, always said it was the only reason he hadn't moved out. I slid a plate across the counter. "Eat up, man." He grinned, same old Ethan grin. "Already ate, but thanks." He pushed the plate back and walked to the living room. I stared at the food. He hadn't eaten already. I hadn't seen him touch a single thing since he got back. Later, I noticed the plate still full, bacon congealed, eggs cold. Milo wouldn't even sniff it. That afternoon, the sun poured through the living room window, painting the floor in gold. I was sprawled on the couch, scrolling X, when I noticed it. My shadow stretched across the rug, sharp and clear. Milo's, too, curled up by my feet. But Ethan, slouched in the armchair across from me? Nothing. No shadow. I blinked, thinking it was the angle, but no matter how he shifted, the space around him stayed empty. My pulse hammered. "You, feeling okay?" I asked, voice tight. "Never better," he said, flashing that grin again. But it didn't reach his eyes. That night I heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, creaking down the hall. They stopped outside my door. I held my breath, Milo trembling against me. The knob didn't turn, but I didn't sleep. At 3 a.m., I crept to the kitchen for water and found Ethan standing there, staring at the wall. Not moving, not blinking, just staring. "Ethan?" My voice was barely a whisper. He turned, slow, like a puppet on strings. "Can't sleep either, huh?" he said, chuckling. But the air felt wrong, like it was pressing down on me. I mumbled something and bolted back to my room, locking the door. The next day, I couldn't take it. I grabbed my laptop and searched his name. That's when I found it, a news article dated 10 days ago. Local man, 28, found dead in hit and run. Ethan's name, Ethan's face, found in a ditch off Route 17 the night he went out, 2 weeks ago. My hands shook as I scrolled through X, posts from his friends, candlelight vigil plans, RIP Ethan trending locally, a GoFundMe for his mom. I clicked a link to a police report. Blunt force trauma, driver fled, No suspects. I called Jake, a mutual friend who'd been at the bar. "Nate, what the hell?" he said when I told him Ethan was back. "He's gone, man. Cops said he was dead before they even got there. Don't screw with me like this." "I'm not," I whispered. "He's in the apartment right now." Jake hung up. I don't blame him. I wouldn't believe me either. That night, Ethan knocked on my door. "You good, Nate?" he called, voice muffled. "You're acting weird." I didn't answer. The knob rattled, then stopped. Footsteps shuffled away. Milo whimpered, burying his face in my side. The cold was worse now, seeping into my bones. The apartment smelled like damp earth, like a grave. By morning, I was a wreck. Ethan was in the kitchen, leaning against the counter, humming some pop song. "You look like shit," he said, laughing. I forced a smile, studying him. Same messy hair, same hazel eyes. But there was nothing behind them, like he was a photograph of himself, moving and talking, but not there. I started sleeping with a knife under my pillow. Not that it'd help. I stopped cooking for him. Why bother? Milo stopped eating, too. Just stared at Ethan whenever he was near. The dog knew something I didn't. Or maybe he knew exactly what I was starting to suspect. Last night I heard the footsteps again. This time they didn't stop at my door. The knob turned, slow, deliberate. I'd forgotten to lock it. The door creaked open, and there was Ethan, silhouetted in the hall light. No shadow on the floor, his head tilted, like he was studying me. "You know, don't you?" he said. "Not angry, not sad, just empty." I couldn't speak. My mouth was dry, my heart slamming against my ribs. Milo growled, low and guttural, backing into the corner. Ethan stepped closer. The room turned freezer cold. "I didn't mean to scare you," he said, voice soft. I don't know where else to go." "Ethan," I croaked. You're dead." He blinked like the words didn't register. Then he smiled, that same hollow grin. "Nah, man, I'm right here." He reached out, and I swear the air crackled like static before a storm. Milo lunged, barking, and Ethan flinched, stepping back. The door slammed shut without him touching it. I locked it, shoved my dresser against it, and sat there till dawn, knife in hand, Milo pressed against me. This morning, he's still here, acting normal, making coffee he won't drink, asking about my plans like nothing happened. But the apartment's a crypt now. The lights flicker. The cold won't lift. Milo's wasting away, and I'm not far behind. I can't leave. Where would I go? This is my home, but it's his too somehow, and I keep wondering, does he know he's dead? Does he care? Or is he stuck here, tethered to this place, to me for reasons I'll never understand? I don't know what to do. Call a priest? Burn sage? Run? All I know is every time I look at Ethan, I see less of him, like he's fading but not fast enough. And I'm terrified that whatever's keeping him here, it's starting to want me too.